Hey everybody, so with the first round of the 2021 NHL Draft just a few days away, it is time to look at another prospect here, and today we are going to be looking at defenseman Brandt Clarke, who has a lot of upside potential, but we don't really know where he's going to go. I've seen him as high as 3 or 4. I've seen him as low as 7 or 8. And there's a lot of mixed opinions on Brandt Clarke and where he's going to go in this year's draft. But there's a lot of defensemen that could go early here, and Clarke is one of those defensemen that we could see go very, very early in the draft. So before we get into it, I just ask you please subscribe and hit that thumbs up if you haven't. It helps out the channel an absolute ton and is greatly appreciated. But let's take a look here at Brandt Clarke. So Brandt Clarke is a coveted right shot defenseman. He is 6'2", 190 pounds. Obviously, that is NHL size right there. And he normally plays in the OHL, but obviously because the OHL didn't have a season this past year, he went over and played in Slovakia and played pro hockey there, where in 26 games, he had 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points, and a +6 rating. Pretty good numbers for a teenager playing pro hockey. Obviously, it wasn't, a super high-level league, like it wasn't the KHL or the SHL or something like that, but still, for someone this young to put up numbers like that in a pro league, that's pretty darn good. I have Brandt Clarke ranked number 3. He's my number 2 defenseman behind Owen Power in this year's draft class. The average ranking among Bob McKenzie, Craig Button, McKean's Hockey, Elite Prospects, and Sportsnet, who are the 5, rankings that I've used to come up with some sort of an average, is 5.2. So I have him ranked a little bit higher than most and definitely higher than the average. But I think there's a ton of upside here with Brandt Clarke. And he's a guy that could put up some serious points at the NHL level. His offensive instincts are second to none. He loves to jump up into the play. He's a very good skater. He's very good with a puck on his stick. He's a very creative player. He's a good passer. He can score, obviously, as well. But just his overall offensive game is really there and could take off at the NHL level. Obviously, with that great offensive game, oftentimes comes some questions about the defensive end, and I do think that that is something that he's still going to have to work on and still going to have to learn. But at 6'2", 190, he's got an NHL body, and he can defend at the NHL level. It's just about learning that side of the game. But offensively, the package is there for Brandt Clarke. And for some NHL comparisons, kind of taking a look at watching him and seeing his highlights, he does remind me a lot of Erik Karlsson. Now, I don't know if he's ever going to reach the levels that Erik Karlsson did, where, at one point, Karlsson was the top defenseman, what looked like one of the greatest offensive defensemen we've seen in the modern NHL for a period of time there when he was still with the Ottawa Senators. Injuries have kind of slowed him down over the past few years, but peak Erik Karlsson was something to behold. And I don't know if Brandt Clarke is ever going to reach that level. Probably not. But stylistically, I think he has that kind of game. And Thomas Chabot is another guy that came to mind when I was watching him. And again, that kind of offensive guy who's a good skater, makes a lot of plays with the puck on his stick. And the big thing about Clarke that I noticed is that he was always jumping up into the play. Similar to what Erik Karlsson used to do with Ottawa when he was in his prime. It was like he was almost like an extra forward out there at times where he was just jumping up into the play. And another thing I noticed is that a lot of times defensemen look for the stretch pass and try and, get the puck up quickly to the forwards and then kind of jump into the play as a trailer or as, jumps up into it after they get rid of the puck. Brandt Clarke carries the puck a lot. Like, he is not afraid to just take the puck himself and bring it up through the neutral zone and into the offensive end. And that obviously is also very Erik Karlsson-like, and reminds me a lot of Quinn Hughes as well. Hughes did that, or does that a lot in Vancouver, where he'll just carry the play. And he's always jumping up into the play, and his skating ability allows him to do that. He is a very, very smooth skater, and uses that to his advantage to make the team better offensively. So definitely something to notice with him is just how much he is up into the play offensively, and a lot of maybe sometimes even driving the play almost like a forward would, where he'll just take the puck himself and go through the neutral zone with it. And it's impressive to watch. And, if he's going to, still be able to do that as much at the NHL level, that remains to be seen, because you do still have to be defensively responsible. But if he's able to carry that into the NHL, he is going to be a guy that can put up some serious points. But he's looking like a very high-end prospect here, somebody with a ton of upside. I think that's a lot of the players in this draft is extremely high upside, but questions as to whether they're going to reach it or not. There aren't a lot of NHL-ready guys, if any. I don't know if anybody in this year's draft is going to jump right into the NHL. I think they all still need development. They all still need work, but the upside potential is absolutely massive on a lot of these players. And Brandt Clarke is one of those guys. He has the chance to become a very, very high-end number one defenseman, coveted right shot, NHL body, great skating ability, obviously high-end offensive instincts, and that's something that really jumped out to me. So it's going to be really fun to watch and see what he does become at the NHL level. I don't think there's really any guarantees in this year's NHL draft, but the high-end potential is absolutely there, and Brandt Clarke is one of those guys. So I have him ranked number 3 overall. He's my second-ranked defenseman behind Owen Power, and I like a lot of what I've seen from him watching film, watching highlights, and again, the biggest thing that stood out was just how much he jumps up into the play, and that's going to be really fun to see if he can do that at the NHL level at the same rate that he has to this point in his career. And I definitely think he's going to be putting up some points. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon, merchandise store, donation link, and channel memberships are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys soon.